This presentation is going to be about volunteering. The way that this campaign is structured and designed to succeed is by allowing the people who sign up the informational resources necessary to make an impact in their community. And it starts with
one thing. I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind. I designed this rhyme to explain in due time. All I know, time is a valuable thing. Watch it fly by as the pendulum swings. Watch it count down to the end of the day.
First thing we're going to look at is doing what's easy and doing it first. Then we're going to walk through the process of getting set up. The third is going to be cold calling best practices. And it's a cold call because you're meeting them for the first time, even though they may be living down the street. Okay? And then the last one we'll go over is relaying information. So doing what's easy first. Step number one. The first thing to do is to go to that YouTube playlist and watch the videos because it really is fully comprehensive. If you type in John Cardiff Gerhardt onto YouTube, that's another way to find this. And that's easy. You just go to YouTube, watch the videos, now you know. The second thing is to network with your own friends and family and neighbors, those that you know, right? The people that you've already been talking to. Number two, setting up to volunteer. Click on the list PDF and print it out. These two are the two papers that you need. When you have the list of neighbors, you're able to go down the list and call them. It's very effective. When I make phone calls, it is like 50% minimum success rate of having people who wish to also join. Okay, so setting up to volunteer. Again, these two papers, you need your phone, you need a pen. This is your environment. No matter where you sit, I use headphones. It gives me the ability to be in a comfortable environment, and I make the phone calls. So now let's get to number three, saving my breath for human conversation. I used to take it all the way to the voicemail, wait for the voicemail to play, and then leave a message. And I also was getting a little frustrated because it was taking so long to get through one page. And so I've gotten to the point, and I found it to be the most efficient process, is call, ring, 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 hang up. If I don't see someone pick up the phone, I'm not going to wait for the voicemail. If I hear the voicemail, I hang up because I know after a couple days of doing this that the amount of people that actually send a message back after hearing my voicemail is very small. So the amount of energy I'm exhausting talking and talking and talking and talking to voicemails is a waste of time. And I know that it's a lot more efficient to have someone pick up the phone, we have human conversation, and that alone gives me a much higher success rate of getting people to join the campaign. Our goal is to scan the whole state. Your goal is to call every person once, and then we refine the list, and then you scan it again. And this whole scan it to the end, get to the finish line, get to the goal, and then do it again in a different mode is the process in which we are going to build the network effect. And you're on a mission. You're on a mission to reach human beings, to have a human conversation, to sign up your fellow Nevadan to this recall campaign so we can achieve the goal of removing this tyrant from office. Okay? Number two, gain familiarity by confirming name and admitting proximity. Even though they live down the street, they don't know who you are, and the first thing you just want to confirm is name. That creates familiarity. They know who I am. I'm going to give them the time of day. Take into account the accent. Take into account this American vocal tone in your voice is very similar to the American vocal tone in their voice because you live in the neighborhood. So that creates the familiarity. And then one step further, admitting where you live and your proximity to where they live. So when I say I live in East Henderson, Lake Las Vegas, the Las Vegas is familiar. The Henderson is familiar. Therefore, this is a neighbor, right? Once you talk to them, you gain that familiarity. Number three, when you ask if they are interested in joining the recall petition, It is common for many who are not deep into the understanding of our Constitution, who don't really understand how this government works, could be indecisive. A recall campaign, and there could be stumbling or fumbling or this indecisive, or maybe it just sounds like they don't quite understand, requires you to explain their rights. And this is where we get into just reminding people, or maybe educating them for the first time, but in a friendly manner, in an educational manner, explaining Article 2, Section 9 of our state constitution gives the people the power to remove politicians who are not serving the public good. They're not serving our common interests. So a recall gives the people the power to remove them from office. All we need to do is petition enough people. Okay, so now I'm asking you to join me in a free group that allows us to remove that guy that we both don't like from the office of our leadership position in our collective government, so that we can vote for someone else. We can finally get a good person in there. So when they're indecisive, explain their rights. Number 4, properly mark with the pen each call and save form entries for the end. Okay, so right now we're at the point where we have the paper, we've got the pen, and there's 4 different types of markings on this paper. First, we have email, and it doesn't look like it. It kind of looks like an email, but I'll explain why it's marked like this. Because for the most part, for the majority of people, their email is associated with their name. So it's just a lot easier to underscore, to shorthand the email information on the page. Okay? No email means they don't have an email to share. Okay? The next part is the X's. Now, the reason why there are X's on the paper and why you will mark X's is because there's going to be a lot of dead phone calls. There are going to be people who are no longer connected to the phone number that's listed in the public government database. There's a few different ways in which it happens. Either has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet. The phone number you are calling has been disconnected. This is a recording. Beep. Oh, those are the worst. A wrong number as well. Put an X through the numbers that are no longer connected to a person. Okay? And this can be sent back in a new form that will allow us to just delete that phone number from our personal list, so we can have a better up-to-date database than the freaking Secretary of State, because they are not actively communicating with the people in a sufficient manner to remove dead phone numbers, which there's a lot. All right. And the last marking is not ready. So there's room for a middle ground. If people don't give you a hard no, and they're not quite sure, or they don't have the time, they have to go right now, they're in a rush, they give you something that is just not quite a yes, and it's not quite a no, mark it as not ready. And those are the 4 different types of marking. So again, number 1, email. Number 2, no email. Number 3, not ready. And number 4, mark an X. Okay. Everything else that's blank, 2 reasons. They said no. And those who didn't answer the phone. Moving on, you have the original form you're familiar with, requires name, email, address, with an optional for phone number. And now there are going to be 2 new forms so that we can better facilitate this flow of information. The new sign-up form for volunteers, and it's designed to allow the volunteers to create new signups that fit the out-of-the-box necessities. That includes those who don't have an email, those who are leaving Nevada. Oh, that's another one I missed out. People are saying that they left or they don't live there anymore. Those people also get a separate mark for, leaving NV. Those people can also be included into our list because they technically are still eligible, even though they don't currently live or don't expect to be living in Nevada at the time that we conduct this recall. petition. And so this form also allows you to add people who are not ready to join yet. The other form is for the X's. We need to remove phone numbers so other people that sign up are not going to have to call and get the fax machine in their ear again. Relaying information. I just want to complete this loop for you. Those forms go into this the pink one. There's two spreadsheets here. The pink one is for recalling Sisolak. This is a list, again, blurred out sensitive info. This is a list of all the people who have already signed up. This is the kind of data I have from the forms that are coming in, mixed with the government data, which I'm comparing it to. I'm cross-referencing this data to ensure that people are actually living at that address, the name is matched, and the eligibility is listed, how many people in the household are eligible, so not everyone in the house has to actually sign up. Just one person per household needs to sign up, and I can put everyone who's eligible in the house on the list. All right, so when you send those forms, even the remove the phone number form, I go into this right here. The blue one is Assembly District 12 or half of Senate District 21. So I can delete the phone numbers and they get moved out of the list so that when I re-download it and layer the precinct list over that last file, and when I send that out, it removes all the fax machines and the wrong numbers. It allows us to really refine this list down and keep targeting the new people who just have not come in contact with this sign up yet and agree to sign up. All right, so you fill out those forms, the databases get updated, which means the emails get updated, which means this process continually churns, right? Because when you send the information through the database, through the form, that's when it goes to the database. That's when it gets filtered through a human process, a IT process that leads to that person that you made a phone call to getting the same email that you got when you signed up. Thus, the momentum continues and we continue to grow. Okay, so this signups, these emails, this data just follows up with a confirmation that we are getting things done. We are actually growing successfully. So we have 4 images of charts and it's a progression of time. So this little one up top left, little mini one is mid-July. It's right at the point when I got everything figured out. I got all the data downloaded. I spent weeks, middle of the night, transferring the data. So that took a lot of time, and that's where the stagnation happened. And then all of a sudden I was ready to go, made the first day of phone calls, and we got a little blip right here. We got a little blip, and then more days, more calls, more people joining. They make calls, they sign up people they know, and we started to get straight vertical growth. First day right here after the long duration of inactivity, of dormancy, which is here. Which continued to go vertical growth. I mean, all of a sudden, I was set up. Everything's ready to go. So I was able to spend 5 hours making phone calls, and I would sign up 50 people. And it was like I got in contact with 30 of them, and of the 30, there was an additional 20 living in all their houses collectively to add to that number. And that's where this petition growth is coming from. Those people who have signed up, who are eligible, and all the eligible people living in those households of people who signed up. And I just, like, for example, there are people who are not eligible, who signed up, who have another person in the home who is eligible. And so they get a +1, even though that person who specifically signed up is not the one being counted. All right. So now we have a growth chart that feeds back to people, to our volunteers, and to the people who are following our campaign to follow the trend. Every day, after I sign people up, after I confirm them, after I get all the people in the household, there's a total number, and that total number is getting higher and higher. And so I keep adding that total number with a date mark, and that's our petition growth chart. And we have literally gone vertical. We've multiplied by nearly 5 since our time of dormancy. It's like the very beginning was I made the form and I put it on Twitter just to see what would happen in a Mindy Robinson Twitter thread. She was talking about Sisolak, and I said, let's recall Sisolak. Here's the form. And 20 people signed up. And then I did it a little bit over time. There's another momentous thread going on here, but I didn't have access to the voter database. I didn't have anything really set up. I was just throwing it into social media, and I got 100 people across the entire state. Like, it was sporadic across the entire state. There was really no close connection between anyone. It's incredible how that works with social media. The diversity, the separation geographically. But then I had everything set up, and I started making I'm making phone calls essentially every day if I'm not editing or doing something else related to the campaign. And that has led to 20 a day, 30 a day, and as many as 50 a day, straight vertical. All you got to do is make phone calls for 2 hours and sign people up through the form is going to create that catalyst, that network effect, the churn, the growth, the unstoppable momentum that is we the people building the awareness necessary to successfully recall the governor of the state of Nevada. So that's the whole process. And this chart is the end result of all our work accumulated into successfully signing people up, which can be verified just by me showing the process in this video and the last presentation of how this number is authentic. It is real. It is verifiable. It is indisputable. It's auditable. And I can show you, it's like you really want to see that people who are verified and how they are verified. I can show you that process. And I've already explained it, but I've blurred out names. You've only got a PNG rather than a live stream, of the actual data and everything else. But that I think that's it. Yeah, that's everything I have to share, except for one other thing. I just want to take it back to the phone calls, right? It wouldn't be justice if I'm explaining to you how to do phone calls and expect you to do phone calls without you ever seeing me make phone calls, which I've spent collectively days now. I've spent over 24 hours making phone calls.
Hello, is this Jerry Taktakan? Hey, Jerry, my name is John Cardiff Gerhardt, and I live over in the East Henderson, Lake Las Vegas area. And I was calling to see if you're interested in joining a recall petition against Governor Steve Sisolak. All right, thanks. Hello, is this Phyllis Smith? Hi, my name is John Cardiff Gerhardt. I live over in the East Henderson, Lake Las Vegas area. And I was calling to see if you're interested in joining a recall petition against Governor Steve Sisolak. Today, I just need your email, and then I'll send you all the information you need to know about the recall, the process, and Okay, great. I got a pen in hand. All right, I'll send you an email tonight. It'll share everything you need to know about this recall campaign. Thank you, Phyllis. Have a great day. We will. Bye. Hello, is this Paz Villalobos? Hi, my name is John Cardiff Gerhardt, and I live over in the East Henderson, Lake Las Vegas area. I was calling to see if you're interested in joining a recall petition against Governor Steve Sisolak. Oh. ¿Te gustas de Governor Sisolak?
informational resources necessary to make an impact in their community. And it starts with
one thing. I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind. I designed this rhyme to explain in due time. All I know, time is a valuable thing. Watch it fly by as the pendulum swings. Watch it count down to the end of the day.
first thing we're going to look at is doing what's easy and doing it first.